I cannot believe you did this. You have completely ruined the aesthetic of the neighborhood, and it's a code violation.
Actually, I checked the bylaws. It's fine.
The night my garage turned into a dirty swimming pool, I woke up to the sound of water slapping concrete and the sharp smell of wet asphalt and mud. Cold air rushed in as I opened the door to the Cul De Sac. Streetlights flashed on the blacktop like a sick joke. The water had nowhere to go. It just rolled in a brown wave straight into my stuff. Boxes, tools, my kid's old bike, all floating. I ran outside in bare feet, yelling for help, and there she was. Karen, our HOA president, standing under an umbrella at 4:27 a.m., sipping coffee like this was a show I put on just for her. By sunrise, I had a violation notice on my door. It said I had caused improper water diversion by putting sandbags out during last week's storm, and I owed a fine of $200 per day until I removed them. I just stared at it, hands still shaking, clothes still damp. This whole street was built in 1974, and the HOA paved over the Cul De Sac drain since 1974, had no idea I am their surveyor. That is what this whole fight was about. They had literally paved over the only drain we had, then blamed me for the flood. I tried to start calm. I went to the emergency board meeting that same night at 9:00 p.m. The room smelled like stale coffee and printer ink. Karen sat at the end of the table, red blazer, tight smile, little nameplate like she was mayor of the sidewalk. I told them about the water line on my garage wall, about the ruined tools, about the way the street floods every hard rain. One board member looked down at his shoes. Another stared at the ceiling. A neighbor who always waved at me now stared at the floor, lips pressed tight. Nobody wanted to cross her. I asked them to check the original drainage plan. Karen just said the project had been approved. The pavement was aesthetic, and if I didn't like it, I could seek legal counsel at my own cost. That was my line in the sand. Or in the water, really. I walked out with my jaw clenched and my socks still damp and decided I would use every proper channel they loved to threaten me with. First, I started a little record. Timeline item 1, April 5th at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. Because yes, that morning, while my garage flooded, Karen had also called the police saying I was disturbing the peace in the Cul De Sac. I pulled my doorbell footage. I printed the police report. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. Then I opened my work laptop. Here is the thing Karen never bothered to learn about me. I am a licensed land surveyor. My firm has a standing contract with the city to review old plats and update stormwater maps. Last year, the city started a drainage audit. Our subdivision was on the list. So, while Karen played sidewalk dictator, I logged into the city system and pulled our subdivision records. The original plat from 1974 popped up. Right in the center of our Cul De Sac was a recorded storm drain easement, in bold. There was even a note: no permanent structure or pavement to block water flow. I went down to the county office to get the full file. When the clerk dropped it on the counter, the file landed with 63 pages that I did not sneak, hack, or do anything shady. I did my actual job. I marked locations. I took fresh photos. I wrote a clean report. I flagged the missing drain, the illegal pavement, and the pattern of water complaints from the last 10 years. 16 complaints, all brushed off by the HOA. I attached the video of Karen calling the cops on me while water raced past her shoes. I added one simple line in my cover letter so even a kid could understand it: patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. Then I submitted it through the city's normal system, just another surveyor report in a big stack of boring government work. The payoff came 2 weeks later. The city engineer scheduled a site visit with HOA leadership present. Karen showed up in heels and sunglasses like this was her red carpet. Neighbors drifted out to watch, phones already up. The engineer nodded to me and asked me to spread out the big paper map on the back of his truck. I did. The old easement box sat there, right where our shiny black pavement now covered everything. The engineer pointed to it, then to the flooded water line still visible on my garage wall. He spoke very calm, very loud. This pavement is in direct violation of the recorded drainage easement. Your association is responsible for removing it and restoring the drain to its original function. Someone snorted a laugh. Someone else whispered, "Oh no." Karen tried to talk her way out. She said the builder must have messed up. She said the drain never existed. That was when the city inspector held up the photos I had taken and the copy of her own newsletter from last summer bragging about the Fresh pavement upgrade in the Cul De Sac. Neighbors leaned in. Cameras zoomed. One guy on the sidewalk said into his phone live from Karen Court, "Folks." The police officer who had responded to her false trespass call that night was also there, invited by the city. He watched the video of himself standing in ankle-deep water while she complained about my sandbags. His face went flat. He said very slowly that he would be forwarding the reports to his supervisor. The next week felt like a group project where the bully finally gets kicked off. The city issued a formal order. The HOA had 90 days to remove the illegal pavement, install a proper drain, and repair damages. Estimated cost, $42,000. All those violation letters against me, voided in writing. The fine balance they tried to stick me with, gone. Karen lost her role as president after a very tense special meeting that I did not even attend. Neighbors told me later it was a lot of yelling and one dramatic chair push. The board sent out a bland email about leadership transition, but everyone already knew the story. By then, the video from the site visit had hit our town Facebook group and racked up thousands of views when the jackhammers finally came. The whole cul-de-sac smelled like hot asphalt and wet dirt again, but this time it felt good. Kids watched the workers dig down until the old drain pipe showed like a buried bone. Rain came on May 3rd, 2024, a hard one, the kind that used to turn our street into a brown river. This time, the water rushed to the center, swirled, and disappeared straight down where it was always meant to go. No flood, no dirty garage pool. My neighbor from across the way walked over with 2 cups of coffee and just handed me one. He said, "Soft, glad you knew what you were doing." I just smiled and watched the water drain like it was the best show on earth. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.